Holy crap. Listen, dude. Thank God. That was super dicey. From the time Mike McDaniel decided not to go up 9, every Dolphin fan was sweating that clenched butt cheeks the entire night. But the defense came through in a huge way today. And what can you say, dude? I mean, Noah Igbinoghene, everybody rats off a ship on the guy, myself included. And if you're saying that you're not, you're probably related to Noah or his agent because you're not a Dolphin fan. Everybody rats off a ship on this guy, even though he is super young. You think about all the inactives. You think about like how many guys had to get hurt for him to get a starting opportunity. And he's out there tonight on national television and in the midst of the game. Starts off kind of nice. And then everybody in Pittsburgh, I don't know if Brian Flores sent down the memo, like, listen, let's just throw it to him every single time. Okay, let's just do that. And I think we'll be all right. And for Noah Igbinoghene to come up with that play at the end of the game, I mean, what he must be feeling tonight has to be incredible. And this is what they always say, dude. The people, they always say, you throw it near Noah, he's going to pick off your thrower. That's what they say, dude. And tonight, it was Noah and Snowa because Noah Igbinoghene comes with a big interception late, as did Javon Holland. 2 drives where the Steelers were marching down the field and the Ball Hawks, NFTF, huge nose for the football today. Got it done for the Dolphins. Snapped the losing streak. Hugely important in this division that is really competitive. Jets 5-2. Bills rolling. Needed that win today, and they get it. Dolphins improved to 4-3, and they also get to welcome back their quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, who we'll get into a little bit. But that defense today was so ballsy and so onions the way they came through. I mean, they started off before these last 2 drives by the Steelers. They were just, I mean, the punter was getting exhausted by how great they were, just forcing punt after punt after punt after punt. Just a tremendous job by everybody involved there. And guys are dropping like flies. Brandon Jones went out today. You had Raekwon Davis go out at one point today. So that defense just continues to be stellar. No matter who goes in there, they continue to show that they are the backbone of the team. Especially these last couple of weeks, they have really, really rallied things and gotten a lot better. And just how that must feel for Noah Igbinoghene to have that moment on national television where the guy was basically a punchline on the team. Everybody making fun of him, taking cheap shots. I know every Dolphin fan is rolling their eyes like as soon as he's just getting picked on, and he gets picked on again there at the end of the game. And the dude comes up with the play to save the game. You saw all his teammates rush on over to him. And you know what? You hope that for him, this is a moment. You hope that for him, this is the thing that really catapults them to the rest of his career. Maybe this is it. I don't know. But it was just such a cool thing to see. And, a night that was filled, obviously, with a lot of goosies between the uniforms, and you think about Landon Robertson Tua coming out with the 72 team with Zonka and Larry Little and Paul Warfield and the Grease Man. And, everybody's just got to have that nostalgic feeling that's all going around. But, man, sweated out in that second half. Mike McDaniel really, after giving up those 3 points, was just like, you know what? 3 points is cool, but let's just see what Chase Edmonds can do here. And I'm all for Mike McDaniels having giant cojones. We all know he's the wheelbarrow man. And, sometimes the wheelbarrow tips over. Sometimes it's just a little bit too much weight and your grapefruits are too much for one wheel to handle. And that's what it was for Mike McDaniel today, dude. He's super aggressive, and he goes, you know what? 2 scores? Two scores in this game. I mean, you might as well, you think you're going up 9. You might as well be going up 19 with how much offense was at a premium in this game. But basically, ever since he made that decision with how much time was left when he did that, just deciding to give up the opportunity to go up 9, it was Chase Edmonds, like they got going, like Jalen Waddle in that yard. Yeah, Jalen Waddle for 25 yards from Tua, and then Mostert had a nice 12-yard catch, and then they bring in Chase Edmonds, who, I don't think Dolphin fans are just like thrilled seeing this guy out there anymore. I don't feel like anybody has the feeling, oh, Chase Edmonds is in great. Because they hit him on 3rd and 2. They hit him. He goes, no gain. And so it's like 4th and 3. And they go, going for it. And everybody's probably just looking around like, really? And if you're going to go for it, I feel like you're going to do what is like you're going to put the ball into his hands. And instead, he gives it to Chase Edmonds. And it's just like it's a loss of a yard. And 9 points goes up and so like that. So, the defense had to just hold completely strong today because the offense, which got off to just a rip-roaring start, it was incredible. Like, it really felt like the start of this game, the Dolphins were going to be winning 21-0. That's how it had the feel of early on because, Tua comes out there, opening drive, and, he's cutting it, dude. It was awesome. He was getting big passes to Waddle and to Gesicki, and then Raheem Mostert was amazing. And then, 3rd and 3, Tua, he kind of escapes pressure for the first time because he's basically just going snap and throw like real quick, and he eludes pressure, finds Mostert for the touchdown. Everybody in Dolphins land's got goosies galore, dude. Tua is back. The beautiful football savior has returned. They're up 7-0, and you just get off to this incredible start of forcing the Steelers to punt. You get it right back. Tua's again just cutting it right down to Waddle. Him and Waddle just got off to this fantastic start. I was doing this like little BetQL, who I do some work for with MMA, but they were having this in the chat. And one of the overs I had Jalen Waddle, I think 4-1 on 100+ yards today. And I was looking good, dude. I was like, oh my God, this is easy money. He's going to Waddle. It's a Waddle revenge game. I felt like I had that one locked up. Spoiler alert, I did not. Because Waddle finished with 88 yards, 4 catches, 88 yards. But it was, the way they were going, they settled for the field goal. All right, Jason Sanders, he can handle 24 yards. They go up 10-0. Next possession, Justin Bethel gets an interception, catches it in stride. They've gone away with something. And Dolphins get it right back. And again, Tua to Waddle, deep. Now, this was kind of where Tua started getting a little bit dicey with his throws because the one thing I will say about Tua Tagovailoa, great having him back tonight. There was no shadow of a doubt that the Dolphins offense feels better with him out there. Had a lot of the same deal tonight where they were putting up some nice yardage. You think between, Tua threw for 261, they rushed for 111. So pretty nice night of yardage for the offense. But again, not a lot of points. It's kind of been the story of the season. It's like they get these drives going and they just sputter by the time they get to the other side of the field. It's, they got to find a way to convert on some of that. But Tua, he threw some real dicey ones today. I don't know if you want to chalk it up to rust or what, but he had, he is lucky that a lot of the secondary for the Steelers have stone hands out there because there were 4 pretty easy picks that they dropped and could have swung this game in a completely different way. But if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, you know what I say? So they didn't, and Tua Tagovailoa gets himself a win, and as we've seen, that guy's at quarterback. Dolphins seem to win a lot of games, so go figure. That was a great thing to see. They did mention the Brian Flores thing today. We did see him in the coach's box. They did show him and show him in his little vest with the dry fit long sleeves and all that. And they showed him giving out some hugs. I think they found him hugging 3 people. One of them was a Dolphins reporter. So it looked like he got a really warm welcome back. I think they did get video of him hugging Gesicki. And they did mention, Stephen Ross. They had him in the box. They saw him there with his little binoculars. So he made a little appearance too. With the whole lawsuit controversy and everything there. So it did get a mention, but it definitely wasn't the overwhelming thing. We were wondering what was going to be the national talking point going into this, and it was definitely, I would say, more having to do with Tua's concussions and things like that. There was at one point where Tua just there was a couple runs he took off, and everybody's like, Collins was like, did you? Or I think it was maybe Tariq was asking Collins like, oh, did you feel a little squeamish when you go to this? It's tough not to, Mike. It's tough not to. It's like Tua's going to do what Tua's going to do, dude. He is going to go try and make something out of these plays. He's not going to go out there and slide, because he did have one play earlier where he did slide, and he was well short. Probably should have had the first down. So the next time around, he kept it and was trying to get some more yardage out of it. But, man, I mean, they could not be a drop on offense getting points in the second half. It was a tough one. A scoreless second half for both teams. Really, really crazy that you got nothing out of this one. But for this game, Raheem Mostert, he was a monster. He looked really good for the Dolphins. 79 rushing yards. He had 30 receiving yards and the touchdown. So I would say he was, probably your player of the game on offense for the Miami Dolphins, along with Jalen Waddle, who looked fantastic. Tyreek Hill and Tua just they seemed a little bit off kilter today. They weren't quite on the same page with everything. There were definitely some missed opportunities there, it felt like. And I don't know if that's just a case of just getting used to Tua, getting him back out there. But either way, the story of this game was the defense for the Dolphins. The defense was incredible in this game. Kenny Pickett, who, was looking okay. He definitely settled in certain spots and was moving them down the field. He just had some back-breaking interceptions. And I did, speaking of which, on props, I did have Snowman with a pick, I think at like 5-1 for a Javon Holland interception. But him getting that pick, I was peacocking all over the place, dude. I was ready to find some snow, get a carrot and some coal, and make a snowman right there in my living room. He was awesome. And it was just huge. It's a monster win all around for your Miami Dolphins to just pull this off, get off the losing streak. Definitely not the prettiest of wins. Definitely not one that, you're going to, I think, remember in Dolphins lore. But I think that it was necessary to any end. Reminds me a lot of the Heat getting their first win against the Raptors last night. You were up 24, things are looking easy, and then you're like wheezing to a finish, but you got the win. And that's the important thing here, is that, one, this defense continues to just show its resilience. Two, you definitely love the way Raheem Mostert's going. I mean, he looks like he's taken full control of that running back job and completely capable of giving you great production week in and week out. Jalen Waddle had a nice bounce back game after basically blowing the Vikings game. And having Uno back out there is a huge boost. It's a huge boost for this team, and they need to start racking up wins. They needed to start getting themselves in a position where they can get a nice little win streak together. They can do some big things, and they got the Lions coming up next week. Man Campbell has to be beside himself. They're 1-5 right now, and everybody's kind of like, frisky Lions. They were off to a rip-roaring start with all their offense, and that has just not been the case for them the last 3 weeks. So, as it has been said, this is an important part of the schedule to get wins, to beat these teams, and to put yourself in a good position, because you're in a really competitive AFC East. And it was I don't know if I'd call it a thriller, but it was definitely one where you sweat it out, and the defense came up with some huge plays in a really cool night for the franchise, celebrating its 50th anniversary of the 1972 team. I know that a lot of Dolphin fans are like, kind of roll their eyes and they're like, oh, 72 team, enough with Zonk. But, that's still 50 years is this is like when you should celebrate. 50 years is a monster deal. And there's been too many crappy Dolphins years where they probably had to lean on that anniversary team because they didn't have anything else to really celebrate. But as far as like anniversaries are concerned, 50 is a big deal. Zonk, speaking of, he said, it's all in the D now. Hashtag fins up. Hashtag Pitt versus MIA. Hashtag SNF. Hashtag undefeated. Hashtag 72 Dolphins. And then after the Noah pick, he said, that's it. Game over. Congrats, Dolphins. Champagne emoji. Hashtag fins up. Hashtag Pitt versus MIA. Hashtag SNF. Hashtag undefeated. Hashtag 72 Dolphins. If Zonk happy, I'm happy, dude. I think that's what we should all think around these parts. Definitely some things to clean up. Definitely some things to improve upon. But it's always better to learn off a win than it is off a loss. And so the Miami Dolphins find themselves now 4-3, back upside on the right side of 500. And, I think that, Tua getting some more reps under his belt, I think things will look a little bit cleaner next week around. It looked fantastic to start this game, but they made some adjustments, and definitely he just didn't quite have that sharpness as it was going on. But who cares, dude? Cool. They got one and they got one, and that's the important thing. Mike McDaniel, take the points next time, dude.